After 12 long years, the New South Wales Liberal and National Government's record is nothing short of atrocious and appalling on every front. The government's legacy includes a string of corruption scandals from Daryl Maguire, Gladys Berejiklian, John Sidoti, John Barilaro, Stuart Ayres and Gareth Ward. They are a government that has blatantly engaged in pork barrelling without remorse. It has been too many years of chronic mismanagement, from iCare to Tahi, their record of selling off over $93.6 billion of our essential assets, with privatising electricity, ports, roads, power stations, buses, home care, the Sydney desalination plant, and many more, has been disgraceful. The Liberal Treasurer recently refused to rule out privatising Sydney Water, Hunter Water, Water New South Wales, more of Ausgrid, Essential Energy, iCare, Tahi, Landcom and the Forestry Corporation. The assets that have already been sold off are key strategic assets which are now controlled by private sector monopolies for private profit and not subject to real competition. Private monopolies have led to higher prices, decreased efficiency and economic damage. Our residents have been taken for a ride because they miss out on all fronts. They have lost the value of the asset, they have lost the income produced from that asset, and perhaps most significantly, they have lost control over provision and prices of key services. Anyone in New South Wales who catches a bus and pays electricity bills and tolls knows what a failure the sell-off of these assets has been. The Liberals and Nationals promised cheaper energy prices. New South Wales electricity prices increased by 25.3% in the last quarter, and electricity bills are expected to increase an additional 56% in the next 2 years. According to the Institute for Energy, Economics and Financial Analysis, the government's decision to privatise 2 out of the 3 energy distributors in our state has led to super profits for those 2 privatised providers. Premier Perrottet signed the contracts to privatise our roads and produced a toll road monopoly. Under the Liberals, we are now the most tolled city on earth, and people are unfairly paying thousands of dollars a year to travel to and from their homes. The Liberals and Nationals have been proud of selling off taxpayers' key assets and then squandering the proceeds on offshoring manufacturing and importing dodgy trains, trams and ferries with billions of dollars in cost overruns. The result has been cracked trams, trains that didn't fit tracks and were too wide for tunnels, ferries riddled with asbestos that didn't fit under bridges, and the list goes on. Labor won't be sending manufacturing jobs overseas. We will make our transport here in New South Wales to create local jobs and boost our own economy. The government has now introduced a lifetime tax on people's property, a tax they will pay for the rest of their lives if they select it over stamp duty. The measure will in fact push up house prices because initial savings from not paying stamp duty will feed into borrowing capacity and simply foster higher bidding on houses. No one saves money from this forever tax, and it simply won't address the chronic housing crisis. There will be a clear choice for New South Wales residents at the March 2023 election. There will be a choice between a tired, old, scandal-ridden and incompetent Liberal and National government who have had 12 years in power, which has led to New South Wales being the highest taxing state and ranked as the worst performing state in Australia. Then there will be a choice of a Labor government who will introduce integrity measures and prioritise local manufacturing and local jobs over procuring shonky transport from overseas. Labor will not be introducing a forever land tax. Labor will make sure we address the chronic staff shortages in health and education. It is time for a New South Wales Labor government who will put our residents first by stopping wage suppression, addressing cost of living pressures, and banning the privatisation of taxpayers' assets. The Liberals and Nationals do not deserve 16 years in power. The people of New South Wales deserve better.